We're following breaking news out of Sacramento. Police have identified another suspect in connection with the weekend shooting that killed 6 people and injured a dozen others near California's state capitol. The news comes after 26-year-old Vladimir was arrested yesterday. He is charged with assault and illegal firearm possession, but police call him a related suspect. They believe the gunman who actually shot all of those people is still on the run. For more on this, I want to bring in Rachel Wulff. She's a reporter with CBS News Sacramento. So, Rachel, what can you tell us about the breaking news? What are you learning?
Okay, so this just happened. It came down during our 6 o'clock live shot. It was a press release from the Sacramento Police Department saying a second arrest had been made in this shooting investigation. And to be clear, the arrest has not been made because this person, this suspect, the brother, the 27-year-old brother of Vladimir Martin, is in the hospital. He was injured in this, and he is being treated for his injuries, and then once he is well, then he will be booked in the jail. And what will he be booked with? It says he will be booked at the Sacramento County Main Jail for possession of a firearm by a prohibited person and possession of a machine gun. Now, a lot of people have seen the video, seen the social media videos, and we've heard that there were over 100 bullet casings. When you listen to that and you see the melee and the chaos of people running out of there and the number of shots fired, you had to think, how is this happening? What kind of gun is this? That was my suspicion. But again, he's arrested in connection. You know, this is a shooting investigation. He's not been charged with anything. And his brother, 26-year-old Vladimir Martin, he's not charged with homicide. Again, arrested in connection with this, charged with assault and also possession of an illegal firearm. So we know there was a stolen gun found at the scene. Apparently, during the search warrants that were executed, there was a stolen gun found, a weapon found. Complicated case, multiple shooters, and as you know, we had 6 people shot and killed and a dozen people injured, and now we know that the brother of the man who's already behind bars is one of the people that was injured.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Vladimir was described as a related suspect. I don't think I've actually heard that term before. We're showing a photo, but I think that's from a previous arrest. Do we know anything more about him?
So he does have a previous criminal history. He was serving time in jail in Riverside County on domestic violence charges, also in Arizona, and then he had some parole violations. So again, nothing of this caliber or of this level, if you will, but it was a man that was known by law enforcement and was taken into custody here in this area, and again is behind bars.
So let's talk about the victims, Rachel. What are we learning about them?
Well, you know, sadly, there was a woman killed in this who was a homeless woman who wasn't even, she was sleeping on the street. That was one of the victims, a 57-year-old woman. Then we know that there was a father of 3. You know, there were 6 victims, and then there was a 21-year-old girl. And, you know, all of the names were released, I think it was midday yesterday, and I won't get into all of the names in terms of, you know, the victims themselves, but it was a number of people from different age groups and fathers and sisters, you know, siblings, loved ones, and that's what makes it so tragic. And the 21-year-old girl, it was an event that was happening at that nightclub, and they went out for a night of fun, and sadly, we don't know what happened, and that's what they're trying to get to the bottom of. And I want to just go back to the arrest. That's why they're being very careful with the wording of this. This is a very high-profile case. Of course, happened in a very public place. One of the largest mass shootings in Sacramento history. We mentioned yesterday that it happened on the anniversary of the Good Guys shooting, where half a dozen people were shot and killed in a tragic hostage situation in South Sacramento. Locally, it was a huge story. I think it was 31 years ago. So again, when you have multiple shooters, you have 18 people who were, 6 of them died, 12 injured. You want to make sure that you're doing this investigation properly and you're being very cautious and you're dotting your I's and you're crossing your T's. And so that's what prosecutors are doing right now. They're doing a very thorough investigation. They're analyzing, you know, there's at least 10 crime cameras, one in particular at 10th and L, which is about a block away. And just for folks watching this, this is only about a block from the state capitol. This is not very far away from, you know, the legislature and people who come to do business here yesterday. A lot of businesses were opening up. The crime scene tape was down because on Sunday it was all cordoned off. So again, they spent a lot of time on Sunday into the early morning hours on Monday collecting that evidence and making sure that they had what they needed to move forward with this case. And they executed several search warrants yesterday. And so, again, now we know that there is a second arrest that will be made. In essence, he is, he's being held in the hospital as he's being treated, but he will be booked as part of it. And brothers. And now we know a machine gun potentially could have been involved. We don't know how, but he was in possession of that. Was that the gun that was fired? And those are the questions that investigators are asking. Who shot first? Were they shooting back? Who were the other people involved? How did it originate? These are the questions investigators are trying to get to the bottom of.
Right, and of course, this is the second mass shooting in a little less than a month for Sacramento, which is, a rare thing. Your city's dealing with a lot. Rachel Wulff, thank you so much.